I, as I said, am Senior Assistant Librarian Arnold, and the story we're reading today is The Trouble You Find. And this is a book written by David Troop, and I'm sure that he's a very good author. This is a cautionary tale, so I need everyone to pay close attention so that you catch the warnings that are in this book. I mean, they wouldn't call it something like A Trouble You Find unless there was some trouble to be found in it. Okay. We'll just move right on to page 1 here. Bobby and Susie and Little Joe wanted to go and see a show. "Whatever will we go out and see?" said Little Joe, Bobby, and Susie. "There's a talent show," said Little Joe. "For those in the know, who wants to go?" "Well," Bobby said, showing his ears, "is this more than just drinking some beers?" "Oh, very much," said Little Joe. "It's at Da Vinci's. Good times will flow." "What's Da Vinci?" said Susie. It perked up her ears. It sounded like great fun and turned her mind's gears. "Oh, and there's a little picture here. There's a little picture of the front of Da Vinci's." Bobby was worried. He'd heard the tale, strange doings there, even homosexual males. "Iniquity," Bobby said. "This place is a den, about as safe from a fox as a hen." "What kind of harm," asked Susie, confused, "could happen to us so easily amused?" "I hear there are harlots and even politicians who'll be sent to church to do acts of contrition." Susie decided, as she often did, that all Bob's concerns were quickly rid. "We're just going to go and have a quick drink. We'll be back in no time," she said with a wink. On to page 2. Bobby and Susie and Little Joe would find some trouble. They just didn't know. They walked down the street by one and by two, and as they grew closer, apprehension grew. They wandered alone, each in their mind, what there might be that these kids could find. Susie's mind raced, of thoughts there were reams. Perhaps I will find the man of my dreams. Bobby was lost. He'd voted against a night at Da Vinci's was trouble, he sensed. Little Joe walked down the street with ease. He couldn't find trouble. He's easy to please. The door was upon them, nothing left to do but walk in the bar and order a brew. "3 Newcastles," said Little Joe, "1 glass apiece, let the beer flow." The bartender turned and looked over the 3. "How's it going tonight? And let's see some ID." There's a lovely picture here of the bar itself. Does everyone get to see the lovely picture of the bar itself?
One for the camera, please.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Where were we now? "We want to have fun and stay out of trouble. Is this a good place to stay in our bubble?" "Trivia's been canceled. Boys' night is a bust. There's no trouble here. On that you can trust." "Talent show's tonight, but not started yet. Stay out of its way and you'll be all set." And then we have page 3. Bobby and Susie and Little Joe worked up the courage to say hello to strippers and authors and lighting designers, old folks and young folks, and even some Shriners. "Let's split up," said Susie to each of the boys. "Each on her own will hear much better noise." Really, she wanted to ditch the men to sneak up to the show and find her Ken. Little Joe agreed and wandered off first, some excitement to find, that was his thirst. Bobby said, "Susie, I'll just stay here. Come back when you finish your beer." Susie just walked off, her eyes all aglimmer. As she walked up the stairs, the lighting grew dimmer. And here's the 3 of them when they're having their first beer downstairs at the bar.
That's us, dear.
Okay. Dear.
Excuse me, I'm just going to take a little drink of water now. Much better. Bobby and Susie and Little Joe spent many hours in the bar's dim glow. People came and they went, you couldn't deny, as laughs rang out as the show went by. Bobby stayed downstairs and made new friends and started to see life through a beer goggles lens. "Last call," said the bartender. "Last call, it's late. It's time to go home. Hope your night was great." Bobby was startled. He was having less fun. He'd lost all his money playing 31. "It's that late already?" he asked in a panic. "The hours have flown. This bar is satanic. Where are my friends? They should have been back. When I find those 2, I'll give them a smack." He hurried upstairs and found Susie quick, slumped in a bar stool, looking quite sick. Bobby went... excuse me for just 1 second there. I had a little frog in my throat. "I had drinks with this guy. He was here right beside me. He drank Jack and Coke. I don't know where he could be. He bought a few shots. I drank and I drank. I can't quite remember, to be quite frank. I might have flashed him. There's still some doubt. I don't know what came next. I think I passed out." Come on with me, we'll find little Joe. We should get home before the sun's glow. And there's a little picture of downstairs. You know, the little Mona Lisa downstairs on the table. We're the only ones up here. I'm sorry. Come on with me, we'll find little Joe. We should get home before the sun's glow. We're the only ones up here. Did he slip out the back? That boy always gets lost. He has quite a knack. Bobby and Susie went for a look. They looked in the niches. They looked in a nook. They looked all around. And under and above. They looked everywhere that they could think of. They heard a sound, though it was quite small. It seemed to be coming from out in the hall. Bobby helped Susie get to her feet, and slowly and off towards the sound they lurched in a beat. They stopped at the doorway and looked around and waited a while until they heard the sound. Bobby was frightened. He's sure all was doomed. The sound was coming from the storeroom. Bobby and Susie pushed open the door, and what they saw then they just couldn't ignore. Little Joe stood up light as a feather from in front of the man wearing nothing but leather. Hey guys, how's it going? This place is a blast. Don't tell me already last call has passed. Oh, by the way, there's a picture of little Joe in there. Joseph, cried Bobby, what are you doing? It's sin, I'm sure. In this place it's been brewing. We're leaving right now. To this man say goodbye, and for heaven's sakes, please zip up your fly. We're leaving right now, but this much is true, little Joe added, but not with you too. I'm learning new games which I want to play. I've had such a good time and discovered I'm gay. We're gonna leave here to have some more fun. You two should go home. My night's just begun. Bobby and Susie went down the stairs. They went past the bartender putting up chairs. They walked through the door. They walked out in the street. They walked past a hooker they'd not wanted to meet. Bobby was angry, confused, and astounded. He knew there'd be trouble, his worries not unfounded. I told you I did. I said there'd be danger. Now one of us has gone home with a stranger. Susie was sick in a bush by the side. Bobby kept going, not breaking his stride. Lost in his own thought, Bobby tried to see, where did we go wrong? Knowing was key. What did this get us, said Bobby alone. All that we got here was broke, drunk, and boned. He fumbled his keys at the lock half blind, and that, after all, is the trouble you find. His keys in the lock. Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming for story time here at the library, and I hope that you can make it back